Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm going to talk about the drug war and why we should end it. Again! Because I don't think I covered everything I wanted to in my last video, and I would like to ask, what is wrong with illegal drugs? Seriously, think about it. And I seriously think we need to end the drug war for the following reasons. It gets in the way of our civil rights, it's way too expensive, it would reduce crime by a shit ton. Trust me. Let's start this off, shall we? Consenting adults should have the right to inject, snort, smoke, vape, or ingest whatever the hell they want or desire. People will often point to the fact that drugs are deadly and people should not do them. Lots of things are deadly: tobacco, alcohol, fast food, cars, and they kill way more people each year than currently illegal drugs. Should we outlaw those things too? Prohibition was a total failure. People kept drinking and organized crime got really rich and powerful because of it. Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, and all the rest of those guys would never have become underworld superstars without it. Had it not been for Prohibition, people would go, "Who the fuck is Lucky Luciano, man?" Now I know that I'm probably repeating myself in my other video, and I know the image quality sucks. Oh well, if you don't like the image quality, fuck you. Anyway, because it's all I have. In any case, we'll be moving on from there. People are allowed to sit on their asses all day, smoke, chew tobacco products, drink huge amounts of alcohol, and eat huge amounts of fast food, all of which can kill you in very slow and very painful ways. And I know you are thinking, what about drug addicts who go out and do bad things to get their drugs? Or some of you will get even more hostile and go, I bet you ain't never dealt with no addicts stealing, lying, crying, and stealing from you. Guess what? I have experienced those things. I fell in love with a heroin addict, okay? She stole money from me and ran off with some drug-dealing homeless guy. But it isn't heroin's fault she did all those things. She chose to inject that shit into her bloodstream, and she chose to steal from me, so she could inject that shit into her bloodstream. It was sad. She was a really amazing and talented person who probably would have been a famous doctor with a Nobel Prize and on the cover of National Geographic had she not touched that shit. But she made her choice, and it was her choice, and it was her right to make that choice. Granted, I think it was a very bad choice, but it was her right to do so. Lots of people drink and drive. They kill 30 people and injure another 700 each day. Should we outlaw alcohol in cars? We did that once, and it didn't work out too good, as I just said. Children have died as a result of child neglect brought on by video game addiction. Addicted parents. People have even gone as far as to kill others to get money to feed their video game addiction. Should we outlaw those things too? Like video games? Should we outlaw those? I don't really think so. I like video games. They're cool. The bottom line is that drugs, legal or illegal, do not make you do evil things. It is because the addict chooses to do those things. It is their own fault for their addiction and no one else. Addiction is created by addicts. Hold on a second. And no one else. It is their own fault for who they are and what they've become. They created their addiction when they chose to put that needle in their arm and shoot up that heroin, when they chose to snort that cocaine, when they chose to pop pills. I don't care what sob story you cook up. Oh, I was homeless. Oh, I have PTSD. Oh, I just had a death in my family. Sorry, but unless somebody put a gun to your head and force you to do whatever your drug of choice is, you have only one person to blame: yourself. Now that we have that covered, we will move on. The cost in treasure and blood is just too big for a war that doesn't really need to be fought. Let's look at how much it is spent fighting the drug war and what it costs. A total of $50 billion, that's million with a B, is spent each year enforcing drug laws, and that is not counting the other 40 billion. Again, that's million with a B. B, see, B, second letter of the alphabet. is spent keeping people convicted of for drug offenses in jail and prison. Let's look at all those figures alone. If we legalized all drugs and released everyone serving time for a purely drug offense, what could we do with that 90 billion extra tax dollars we would effortlessly save? Let's examine some options. We could effectively end homelessness for a cost of 20 billion. We could make college free for about 62 billion. We could bring an end to world hunger for 30 billion. But in the event that those ideas sound too liberal, progressive, socialist, or pussyfied, let's examine some other options if you're a right-winger. I'm a right-winger. Or at least I consider myself to be that. Another idea is that we build that $20 billion wall and use the $70 billion left over to deport about 60% of this country's 11 million illegals. Another idea is to build more of those $10 billion Ford class aircraft carriers. They're really big, really expensive, and really impressive. Or maybe you would just like to add 100,000 or so troops to the U.S. military so they can go kill ISIS. Or we could just simply have massive scale tax cuts, the likes of which have never been seen. And in note, I did not mention that the illegal drug trade is equal to about, in this country, is equal to about $100 billion and $108 billion. $108 billion. That's even more. And I didn't even factor that in. Now, I'm not going to go into too many details, but I'll let your mind wander. Just go wild with that, okay? Imagine what we could do with that kind of money. That adds up to a total of 198 billion dollars. $198 billion. Imagine what we could do with that, okay? And we don't even have to raise taxes. In fact, we could cut them and still have a bunch of money left over. Last but not least, criminals are making a killing, and it's making it profitable to be a criminal. If the drug war ended, the Mexican cartels and the street gangs in general would take a huge hit. They wouldn't be able to afford all the awesome stuff that makes little kids want to be gangsters, like, you know, bling, girls, nice cars with rims, and they wouldn't be able to be a pimp and all that shit. The less glorious the lifestyle looks, less bling, less fancy cars, less hot women, blah 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 blah. They wouldn't have turf wars all that much or all the time, and saving us a bunch of money by not having to send them to prison for shooting their gun, missing their target, and hitting some little kid on his way to school. Gang wars would still happen, but they would be farther and fewer between, and they would also probably be a lot less bloody. If we can lessen the number of dead civilians and police officers, I personally think that's a plus, don't you? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it educational. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me is up to you. We're all entitled to our opinions in this country. I just hope I've educated you, and to be honest, I hope I've swayed you or made your opinions a little more strong in the support of the cause I'm trying to promote here. But whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I'm prepared to have dialogue. And go ahead. If you think I'm a dumbass, call me a dumbass. If you think I'm a horrible person, call me a horrible person. I've heard it all. Don't worry. Just leave a comment if you whether you love or hate it. And if you do like it, like, comment, share, subscribe. And by the way, whether or not you agree with me, feel free to leave a donation. It's for a good cause. I hope and if you want to learn more about that cause, do so. Just click and you'll and there's more information there. Anyway, I wish you all a good day. I've enjoyed making this video, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I have a lot more videos in my box uploaded, so just check those out. And they're on a wide range of topics, from comedy to more serious issues like this one. Anyway, I bid you all farewell. Till next time.